We begin tonight with breaking news following multiple new wildfires, the first in Nevada County. This is a look at the Bennett fire in Grass Valley and forcing evacuations. Officials reporting there is an immediate threat to buildings around Whispering Pines Lane on the east side of Highway 20.
So take a look. Grass Valley police issued an alert ordering people living in the area on this map to evacuate immediately. It includes locations around Idaho-Maryland Road, Brunswick Road to the east, and down to parts of Bennett Road to the south.
We're also learning the Crystal Ridge Assisted Living Center now under a shelter in place. Now, this is new video from Grass Valley resident Nico shared to me from Twitter. Thank you, Nico, for this. It's just showing a massive response of first responders heading to the Bennett fire. As you can see, this is incredibly close to so many homes and businesses in Grass Valley. And again, first responders are heading that way. We also have a reporter heading that way, too, to bring you the very latest as this fire continues to burn right now.
We should tell you we're also following a wildfire threatening structures in Calaveras County. Look at this. It's being called the Areola Fire. It is burning off Parrots Ferry Road and Areola Road. Now that is near New Melones Lake. Of course, stay with us for updates on air and online at abc10.com. Good afternoon. You're watching the ABC 10 News at 5. I'm Chris Thomas.
And I'm Madison Wade. Again, we are also following the Caldor fire. An update now. It's now more than 126,000 acres after growing by 10,000 since last night. Firefighters have the fire 11% contained. More than 24,000 people still out of their homes. Many more may need to leave their homes if this fire continues to spread towards Twin Bridges. South Lake Tahoe also an area of concern.
ABC 10's Luke Clary is live on the fire lines tonight with the update. Luke.
Chris, Madison, if you've ever driven to South Lake Tahoe on Highway 50, you may have passed Phillips Station. It's a historic site that could be in the line of fire, depending, of course, on the winds. It's also where surveyors encountered another ominous measure of the drought that is fueling California's wildfires.
This isn't the first time our family has been in the line of fire, honestly.
Abby Pearson is the last in a long line of women to call Phillips Station home. Right along this line, this is where it happens.
This is where it happens, yeah.
It's where every winter, one of California's most important monthly snowpack surveys takes place. In April, recording just 59% of the yearly average. It's a measure of the drought helping to fuel the wildfires now closing in on her homestead. But despite the evacuation warning,
I have chosen not to leave my home because this is where my roots are.
It's making its way with that wind, taking a run up the slope towards the ridge line here.
West on Highway 50, Cal Fire escorts us to the head of the fire in El Dorado National Forest. Its rugged canyons dotted with huge trees parched from drought. The Caldor fire climbs them like a ladder with a push from the wind. At these elevations, the winds can shift quickly. We've seen gusts of up to 35 miles per hour, making the fires very hard to predict.
Very unpredictable, as we've seen this year, especially with the conditions we have. This is very unpredictable fire behavior.
Let's go. Get out of here. A sudden wind change at the top. Our caravan forced to turn back quickly.
We're trying to do our best we can to get people access to document this story. And as we're in this area, the fire made a big run right near where we were.
And if it comes this way, back to Phillips Station, Pearson says she has a plan. Propane tanks off, sprinklers on. The truck is already loaded.
You let whomever tells you to go escort you out, and you make peace with what was your home and what you may or may not come back to.
And if the fire does make its way here from that direction, we believe it all, of course, depends on the wind. This will be not the first time for tragedy to strike here at Phillips Station. Just a few short years ago, we're standing now on the foundation of where a home was destroyed in 2019.
My goodness, just heartbreaking, Luke. Very tense conditions today for you and, of course, those firefighters out there. You be safe. We thank you for that live report. The Dixie Fire has now burned more than 733,000 acres. Containment now up to 43%. It is the biggest fire in the nation, destroying most of the town of Greenville and burning half of Lassen National Park. CAL FIRE says the fire started at midnight on July 14th, but a criminal investigation of PG&E has already turned up evidence that Madison, it perhaps started the evening before that.
And Brandon Ritteman has the new evidence today. Photos PG&E took of the tree that hit its power line, the suspected cause of the Dixie Fire.
This is what PG&E's worker found when he finally reached the scene around 5 p.m. on July 13th. A tree had fallen onto the power line and popped the fuses for 2 out of the 3 wires that ran along it. When PG&E first reported this problem to the public, it said the tree appeared healthy. The tree had green needles at the top, which we can see in these new photos filed today. And the health of the tree matters because PG&E has a legal obligation to find and cut trees that could threaten power lines. New photos filed in court today raise questions, though, about how healthy the tree really was, especially at its base. The photos show the trunk of the tree badly scorched. So much it appears that the tree above it broke off. The bottom of the tree trunk is burnt to the nub, which raises questions about whether the tree might have been rotten or injured. Those answers could help investigators determine not only how the tree fell over, but also whether rotten wood in the trunk might have helped to get the fire started. We can see burn scars higher up the tree trunk, and this raises questions about whether the remaining live wire on the power line sent electrical current through the tree and into the ground, also for how long that happened. We know that PG&E left the power line switched on all day, but it knew early that morning it had a problem on this circuit. PG&E told the court it took 9 hours and 52 minutes to get its worker on the scene. A couple hours of the delay was due to road work, but a lot of it had to do with how PG&E assigned its workers. When the worker got there, he smelled smoke right away. Shortly after, he saw the fire and he saw the leaning tree. That worker is scheduled to take the stand in PG&E's criminal probation hearing on the Dixie Fire next month.
And Brandon Ritteman dives deep into the state's wildfire crisis, the danger of PG&E's power lines. You can watch and share all 3 parts of our latest series of Firepower Money online at firepowermoney.com. You can also find our past investigations dating back 3 years. All right, as we toss things over to Tracy Humphrey. Tracy, we just saw CAL FIRE saying the Areola fire is now 700 plus acres.
Yeah, you know, we did have some winds pick up in that area this afternoon into this early evening. Winds gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour. They are expected to diminish as we move into early tonight. But for me, I'm watching what's going to be a very critical time frame heading into Thursday and Friday, and I'm going to explain why. So we'll start off conditions today, pretty minute, upper 80s coming in for Sacramento, pretty benign weather overall. As far as the winds are concerned, we had some gusty winds around 17 miles per hour in Placerville, 21 in South Lake Tahoe, and winds for the most part still coming in out of the west to southwest, pushing that fire to the north, to the northeast, as well as the smoke associated with it. So here's a look at the visible satellite showing the Caldor fire, and you can see that poor air quality unfortunately going right into South Lake Tahoe. But here's what's going to be happening over the course of the next 12 hours. So most of the activity has been to the north as well as to the northeastern side of the Caldor fire. Now, they've still seen some activity on the western side, but you can see a lot more of the red dots there showing thermal imaging, thermal hotspots taken within the last 12 hours. As we move into tomorrow, winds are going to shift. They're going to start to come in at the south to southwest. That's then going to push everything to the south and again over to the southwest, and the areas that we're going to be concerned about near Fairplay Road, near Somerset, going into Pleasant Valley Road. So really almost making a complete 180. That's also going to be what we're expecting for the Dixie Fire as well. Now here's a look at your weather timeline. Temperatures dropping down to the 70s around 9 o'clock tonight, and then for tomorrow temperatures are warming so much so we could be looking at another red flag warning moving back into the forecast Friday morning into Saturday morning. Coming up, when did the triple-digit highs get here, and which parts of Northern California could be looking at winds gusting up over more than 35 miles per hour?